This is my vlog.
Fundamentals of taxation. Nature of taxation. So, let us define taxation. Taxation is a state power exercised through the country's legislative body, also means by which a government or the taxing authority imposes a tax on its citizens and business entities. Taxation principles are the guidelines that a governing entity should use when devising a system of taxation. The system of taxation should be spread across the broadest possible population so that no one person or entity is taxed excessively. Purpose of taxation. For primary purpose, to provide funds or property with which to promote the general welfare of its citizens and to enable it to finance its multifarious activity. For secondary purposes, it is to protect local industries against foreign competition through imposition of high customs duties on imported goods. Canons of taxation are related to the administrative part of a tax, simply mean the characteristics or qualities which a good tax system should possess. Also refer to the basic principles of a sound tax system, which identify the following: the fiscal adequacy, administrative feasibility, and theoretical justice. Fiscal adequacy. It means that the sources of revenue taken as a whole should be sufficient to meet the expanding expenditures of the government regardless of business conditions, export, taxes, trade balances, and problems of economic adjustment. Administrative feasibility. This principle connotes that in a successful tax system, such tax should be clear and plain to taxpayers, capable of enforcement by an adequate and well-trained staff of public office, convenient to the time and manner of payment, and not burdensome upon or discouraging the business activity. Theoretical justice. It means that taxes levied must be based upon the ability of the citizen to pay. Justice and equality are vague terms. They are furthermore related to popular concepts of justice, which prevails at any time and place. Basis of taxation. Taxation is based on the reciprocal duties of protection and support between the government and its people. Government receives taxes from the people, which is used to perform functions of government and other benefits. Also, a benefit received theory. Objects of taxation. Individuals who earn a considerable amount of income as a worker or as a businessman in partnerships or corporations, including those who inherited property or given a gift or donation of a considerable value. Tangible and intangible properties, whether personal properties or movable properties that can be moved or relocated, or real properties or immovable properties. And transaction, consumptions, interest, imports and exports, and privileges. Situs of taxation. It refers to the place where taxes are to be paid. For business, occupation, transaction, this is paid in the place where the business or occupation is located. And for real and tangible personal property, this is paid where the property is situated. And for intangible personal property, are paid in the place where the property is located, similar to real property tax. And lastly, for the income, this is paid either in the place where the income is earned or the place of residence of the taxpayer. Limitations of taxations. Constitutional limitations are those limitations provided in the Constitution. These limitations are more subject to change when a new Constitution is introduced in the country. And for inherent limitations are rooted in the nature of taxation itself. These are the limitations that are not affected by changes in the provisions of constitutions. So for constitutional limitations, due process, equal protection clause, rule of uniformity and equity in taxation, non-imprisonment for non-payment of full tax, non-impairment of the obligations and contracts, and non-infringement of religious freedom. Inherent limitations. The tax revenues must only be used for public purpose. There should be proper delegation of legislative power to tax. Also, government entities are exempted. There are also territorial jurisdiction, and there is an observance of international law. Double taxation. Double taxation refers to an instance when an income, a property, or a transaction was imposed with the two or more taxes by taxing authority in the same year. Avoiding taxation. These are the other concepts related to taxation in terms of avoidance or non-payment. First, shifting, capitalization, tax avoidance, tax evasion, and tax exemption. Shifting. The tax is shifted from the business to the consumer. Taxes may be shifted in several directions. And for capitalization, this is done by reducing the price of a taxable product or service to lower the tax that will be imposed on its consumption. Tax avoidance. Tax avoidance refers to the availing by the taxpayer of legally allowable means in reducing or minimizing the tax due on certain properties, items, and services. Also, the legal usage of the tax regime in a single territory to one's own advantage to reduce the amount of tax that is payable by means that are within the law. For tax evasion refers to the use by the taxpayer of illegal means in escaping, defeating, or lessening the tax due. Also, the tax dodging. And lastly, for the tax exemption, is the bestowal of immunity by the taxing authority on a taxpayer from the obligation of tax payment.